Welcome to episode 5 of 4 Shot Podcast, where we discuss all things HCS and some things Halo. I am your host, Phade, and with me, I have my co-host, Phade.
Hey, how's it going today?
Get
myself centered on that picture?
Yeah, you're decent.
Alright.
Good enough. We don't have too much to talk about this week, as we've had another week of no online cups, but we've had some roster changes that we'll get into, along with our amateur spotlight, tip and trick of the week, and question of the week. And then we have a bonus treat for everyone. We did an interview with iGotUrPistola, better known as just plain old Pistola, from Cloud9 yesterday, and we're going to play that for you guys at the end of our normal podcast segments.
Had a lot of fun. It was very Pistol's a great interviewee.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Get things started off, let's talk about rosters. Arcanum has officially been announced as WinterFox's fourth. Last week we mentioned that we saw that it was most likely coming and we had heard about it before, but it is official now. Arcanum joining WinterFox. Where do we think WinterFox is going to be now compared to where they were with Contra on the team?
I think they'll probably be right around the same. Yeah, I would assume. I'd expect them to be right around the exact same spot in that top five placings. Where at in there, I can't really predict. They might place a little bit better online than they do on LAN. Not saying that they're like warriors or anything like that, but their play styles translate better online. I think, at least, just with being aggressive and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a lot of online cups before the next LAN event, and only like one LAN event left before the finals. So I think that they'll probably can hold like a top 2 or 3 seeds going into the season final.
Okay then. Let's see here. Some new teams that have started to form. We have some of that intel, if you haven't noticed on the forums. Team Snaz or Sans, or they don't have an official team name yet, but it consists of Ninja, Shooter, Spartan the dog, and Aries. To this point, like I said, they don't have a team name, so I'm sure with Ninja being on the team, something is in the works. I've heard some rumors that maybe it'll be Team Liquid. We don't really know for sure. We're kind of waiting for the announcement on that. And
yeah, I saw that. That'll be huge if Team Liquid comes in. I just hope that the roster stays together if that happens. I'm tired of all the craziness, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree. We'll get into that team a little bit later in some of... Actually, let's get into it now. So,
okay.
If you guys didn't hear, Ninja and Spartan the dog went on a big rant on their Twitch page about how they didn't think they were going to be able to have this team. This team of 4 wanted to work together, but due to previous contracts, Ninja with Noble and Spartan and Shooter with Elevate, they didn't know how they were going to be able to compete because their previous organizations weren't going to let them out of the contracts. And if you're on contract, obviously you can't play for another team. They took to Twitch, basically to social media, as we'll call it, trashing the organizations, saying bad things about the organizations.
We're held hostage, they're like keeping us against our will, and all these type of things.
Yeah, saying how stupid it is to keep them because they're not going to do anything for them, so on and so forth. All the while, like I said, they had these contracts that they signed and had chose to sign, so it was kind of their own doing. But at that point, after taking to Twitch, pretty much all of Ninja's fans, and then, they kind of leaked over to Spartan's fans as well, took to Twitter and just started bashing Elevate in Noble, basically saying to free them, and it was causing a lot of...
I'm pretty sure there was hashtag free Ninja and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of unnecessary tweets, basically trying to degrade the two esports as much as possible, and it seemed a bit unnecessary. But through all of this, Ninja ended up getting released from his contract, and Shooter and Spartan also got released from their contracts, allowing them to form the team. So, I don't know. I don't agree with how they went about it. I feel like there's better ways they could have handled the situation rather than trying to take to social media, so to speak. And
Yeah, I kind of felt like they were like basically just trying to strong arm their way out of their contracts. Which I get what their frustrations. They're locked in this contract with a team that they don't want to play with anymore, that they don't think that they have a future with anymore. But I also understand, like, from the organization's point of view, they put in this money into these players. Whether that's giving them gear or travel, paying for travel costs to go to events. However it was that they ended up sponsoring them, I don't know the extent of that. But they've made an investment in these players, and they don't want these players just like pack up and leave the second that, or whenever they feel like it. And that's why they had them sign a contract in the first place. So I can see both sides of it. I think like just in both sides could have handled it better. In an ideal world for me, the players like would realize that they signed a contract and that they owe something to this organization. I mean, that's the point of the contract, is they got something and now they have to give their time back to the organization basically and represent them for however long the contract was for. That being said, the organization, I feel like, could have been like, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to make, like for Noble's case, we're going to make Ninja a undesignated, like, Noble player, meaning he doesn't play for the official Noble roster, but he's still under contract and represents them online through his streaming and stuff like that. And that they would allow him to go to events as long as he doesn't represent another organization. And I think that would have probably been the best solution for this. But Ninja Shooter, Spartan, Aries, they're looking to have an organization sponsor them. And so, I mean, if they're going to have an organization sponsor them, the organization should be able to, or should be paying out their contract, rather than trying to strong arm their way out of their current ones. So, but again, I don't know all of the details, but from what I can tell, like, it just seemed a little unnecessary to, like, I guess, air everything out so publicly, or not even air out, but just, like, I guess, call names publicly, basically.
Yeah, that's where I think it went wrong, is just all the, like, at the end of the day, if HCS wants to be taken seriously, you can't have your, quote-unquote, I would say Ninja's the, he is it when it comes to HCS for the most part, just because of his, his Twitch following. He's a big name in the sport. You can't have that person who's supposed to be more or less be the representative of your sport bad-mouthing and trash-talking esports. If we want this HCS to be taken seriously, and we want bigger esports names to come in and that type of stuff, you can't have that. That doesn't look good for, it doesn't look good for Ninja. It doesn't look good for the esports. It doesn't look good for HCS. It does nothing about what Ninja and Spartan did are good for Halo in general. I'm glad
on a big scale, definitely it hurts the scene. It hurts Halo. It hurts HCS. Because like you said, like, why do those companies want to come in and start supporting these teams and put money into these teams if they're going to get treated poorly, or the players aren't going to, like, hold up their end of the bargain, basically? So it worked out for them in this case, individually and everything. They got to team with who they want to now. And it is a good roster. I expect that roster to place top 8 easily. But I just think it sets back Halo as an esport, and, like, being regarded as, like, a profession, rather than just a bunch of kids that are getting together to play Halo. Luckily, the top, the top 5 or 6 teams with those huge esports associated to them are really stable right now, I feel like, and represent very well, especially, like, with EG, CLG, Denial, and Cloud9. And Optic, those 5 especially, like, I think that they represent esports very well, and that's good to see. So maybe it's just the bottom, these guys at the bottom of the top 8 trying to, like, push themselves further ahead, and get into that top couple. But I think as Halo gets bigger, assuming it does, and hopefully it does, there won't be a need for all of this stuff, I guess. I don't even know what to call it, drama, because everyone's on salary now, and everyone has the streaming viewerships that they don't need to just like, oh, you got seventh place. Yeah, currently that's like you make actually seventh place, seventh and eighth didn't get anything at Atlanta.
Correct.
So yeah, so I get that, but like in the future, Halo 5 or whatever, when these big esport or organizations are here, there's a lot of prize money. And hopefully they have the viewers on Twitch that they can support themselves that way, and they're on contracts and stuff. They don't need to place first to be making money. And so there won't be a need to like have these big like I guess outing matches and stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, it seemed really shady about how Ninja went about it. And Elevate is they're a pretty big esport in general for other video games. So for him to be talking so much trash to them was definitely uncalled for. And if this is how we're supposed to get things done, I think we should go to Twitter right now, and everyone should tweet at TSM and tell them to sponsor a Halo team for me. And
right?
if we all tweet them as much as possible, talking trash until they do it, I think we can get a team together with me as the captain, and we will obviously be the best team in all of HCS.
Go for it. Go for it. I fully support you.
All right. And we'll talk a little bit later on during our question of the week of this whole
I guess we kind of covered
situation. There's more I would like to talk about when we get to it in a more general sense. But yeah, we'll get to that later. Let's move on a little bit here. Another team that was announced, Active Rush, an old name we've heard from Halo 2 and Halo 3, consistent of Prototype, Straight Sick, an old name that a couple old names you may not be familiar with now, but may have heard of in the past, in Frosty and SneakEbeaver.
Just to point out, this is a different Frosty than the one that's teamed with Reality Check recently and stuff. It's Frosty. This is Frosty. They're different. So this is the old school Halo 2 and Halo 3 player.
Yeah, and I believe Frosty and SneakEbeaver are brothers? Is that what I heard or read on the forums?
That I don't know. I don't know. I can.
It's not
try
that
and
big
find
of a
out
deal.
real fast. Yeah.
I thought I may have read that, but who knows?
Yeah, he is. They are brothers.
Okay then. So, I guess Prototype and Straight Sick are kind of a team of two, and Frosty and SneakEbeaver being brothers are kind of a team of two. Where do we think they're gonna play out with the other? I guess we have 10 teams now if you count our original top 8, including Reality Check, and now Ninja's team and Active Rush. Where do we think Active Rush is gonna play out in this top 10?
So I think the top 6 are virtually guaranteed to place in the top 8. Meaning Winter Fox, EG, CLG, Denial, Cloud9, and Optic. Those guys I think are guaranteed top 8. And so I think there's 2 spots left. So Noble, Reality Check, Ninja's team, and Active Rush are going to be playing for 2 spots. I think Ninja's team gets one of them. And then the last one, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's any team, or even if it's a team that isn't currently there, like one of the other amateur teams. I think that's a spot that can be filled, and just depends on maybe who the bracket and then who is playing well in the day. But I think you have to probably give the edge to Noble, just because they are the team that made top 8 at Atlanta. So that's the Suspect or Nemesis Lifestyle Kratos team.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last team, which we don't have a full team name or team yet, or a team name. Contra has said that maybe he's got a team, and it looks like as of right now, we know he's gonna be playing with PreDevoNator, who I'm not all that familiar with. What about you, Phade? Are you familiar with him?
I mean, I'm kind of familiar with them. I know that they're the old Reality Check. Basically, they teamed with the Suds at the beginning of season 1. And I believe they play 7th with the Suds. So they played team together. I don't know who the other 2 that they are, but Contra on the forums did post that he was a full team. So guess we're waiting to find out who those other two are, unless I missed it and they did say. But that's one of those other teams that could finish top 8 and could be the eighth team there. And we just kind of have to wait and see. I mean, it's hard to predict, especially with 2 online cups being canceled. It's hard to like really predict some of these teams right now.
Yeah,
and with no scrims happening because of all the connection issues.
Yeah, we need to get some Halo wins soon to see how these teams are going to start playing out. And it's kind of the lack of being able to practice might actually be helping some of these lower teams / newer teams get a chance to potentially make some moves. You know, the less teams are able to practice, the more everyone's going to kind of be put back onto an even playing field once you know, the fix is in and people are back at, you know, the rush.
So I guess we can go into our amateur team of the week. And this week I guess it's not a full team, but it's a team of 3 right now with some names that some may have heard of. We're talking about End Result, and this is a team that's placed. You know, they've made top 32 multiple times and top 24, and I think they have one top 16 finish as well. And that's in Halo 3 and Halo Reach and stuff. That's a team. It's Burton, Krizen, DARKscorpion, and then it used to be Monas, not Munoz, but Monas, and it's a Canadian team. They've gone under the name, or some of them have been on the roster that went under North of 49 that had like Mad Max and Gilkey and stuff on it. DARKscorpion he won like the World Championship games for Canada and stuff like that. So there's some really good players there. And Burton, last event he was on Reality Check, and finished top 12. These guys they went together. The last event they went together, 2 together, was at Gamers for Giving, and they got top 16 there. So they're a team that's going to be right around in that area, getting top 16. I would be surprised if they didn't get at least top 16, and they should be challenging for that top 12 and potentially top 8 spot, depending on who their 4th is. Talking to Burton today, he basically said that the 3 of them, they've been teaming for years, and so they're super comfortable together, and they're just looking for a 4th that's going to be aggressive and make some openings for them, like with pushing and stuff like that, and you know, pick up a big kill here or there so that they can really open up the game and take control of games. So that's what they're looking for in their 4th. And I don't have any intel on who that is, but I do have a little bit of intel that they may not be going as End Result for long. It looks like they picked up the sponsorship from Velocity now that Velocity became Noble and those players left. It looks like these guys are the new Velocity. So, you know, when you may see End Result for the first like online cup or something while they're working out their contracts. But by the time Indianapolis comes around, they should be the new Velocity. So keep an eye on them. Some good players there.
Yeah, and End Result, if you happen to be listening now or in the future, feel free if you still need a 4th. Invite Phade.
For sure.
You can check out sponsorship.
Yeah, there you go. You can check out Burton on Twitter. It's at the letter 8 and then Urton. So it's like Burton but with a 8 for the letter B. And then he also streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/Burton, and that's just spelled normal, Burton. Go ahead and check them out. Really try and watch more than just the pros too, because that's going to help this game grow. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what they do at Indianapolis and in these online cups. You know, he said their goal is to make it to the season 2 finals. So I mean, that's going to take a top 8 placing at Indianapolis, plus some pretty good performances online. So see how they do.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, it's you know, it's a good thing to watch people who aren't necessarily the pros for a couple of reasons. One, they might be, you know, as an amateur player, they might be doing things that you don't see from the pros, whether it be just you know, strategies that you're not used to seeing. You know, it seems like a lot of pro teams have, you know, very set in stone. We kind of see the same strategies over again. We don't see too much innovation is what it really comes down to. We see what works and we see them perfect it. And a lot of times with these amateur players and teams, you'll see some new interesting ideas that, you know, you hadn't seen before. So definitely watch them. And then on the same side, you know, a lot of times they're amateurs for a reason, so you can kind of see what not to do if depending on what the situation plays out in front of you.
So there's again no online Cup 2. We can do predictions for online Cup 3. I don't know if my prediction should be for a team or for no that the online Cup won't happen.
Well, we're gonna hope it does. Last week
sure.
you said your vote was CLG, I believe. Do you want to stick with that, or are you gonna change?
I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna change to Denial for one reason. That's APG, because APG has put in probably twice as many hours in the last week as I put in since HCS came out.
Yeah.
Or since Halo 2 Anniversary came out. I think he did like 47 hours stream straight before he got DDoS'd and then decided to just go to bed. Something like that. And then he did another like 20-hour stream yesterday or something. So it's been going crazy, just grinding. I think he's either level 39 or 40 in the playlist right now. So it's pretty crazy. So with that much practice, I got to roll with APG and Denial.
Yeah, I'm, you know, I guess I don't want to say I'm a bandwagon or anything.
Stay true to EG.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with EG until these teams can start practicing again. You know, I'm gonna go EG all the way. After talking with Pistola yesterday, and you guys will see that probably in about 10-15 minutes from now, we'll be playing that video, maybe sooner. You know, I like C9. Once they can start practicing together as a team, you know, they're probably going to be my vote for one of these cups, if not Indianapolis.
But definitely, he was very confident. You'll see that in the interview. But he's very confident in their team and how they progressed and how they'll do on the online cups and in Indianapolis. So
yeah. So moving into our next segment, which will be our tip trick of the week. We want to talk about shotgun with the YY. Phade, you probably can explain this a little bit better than me, so I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean this one's not a long tip or trick or anything this week, but a lot of people don't know when you have the shotgun out, when you fire, the amount of time between when you can fire again is pretty substantial normally. But if you shoot and then hit YY real fast, and then you can shoot again, and it's about, I want to say it's like probably close to 70%, like faster or whatever. So, or I guess that'd be 30% faster. Math is hard, but basically, yeah, you can do it a lot faster if you pull the trigger, hit YY real fast, and then pull the trigger again, and then you can get I mean, maybe that's how people like get those, you know, shotgun kills on you. You're like, how did he shoot so fast? Like I should have been able to BR him before then, and everything, and that's why. A lot of people know it. Probably most people that are listening know it, but if you don't, that's a good one to know and really utilize. You know, something that makes it easier, I guess. People that claw can, you know, hit the YY with their pointer finger, so then they can still aim. You know, if you don't, then maybe it's a little bit more challenging because you have to stop aiming for a second while you do it, but while you hit YY. But it does save a significant amount of time actually on your shot, and you should always do it no matter what, basically.
Yeah, and to be fair, if you're using the shotgun, you don't have to aim it that well to begin with.
That's true.
So even
yeah.
if you're playing default, which I play, you know, default, I can claw, but it hurts my hand, so I don't do it anymore. But you know, you taking your thumb off to hit YY.
For those that don't know, claw
yeah,
claw is when you hold the controller like this. Oh, it's backwards. That's weird. Oh, it's mirrored on this. Okay, so if you can imagine, that's so awkward. I wonder if I hold it. Like, it doesn't do anything. I'm an idiot. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, this is totally backwards, but it's when you hold your pointer like this and you hit the buttons, so that way you can use your joystick and jump or switch weapons or reload or anything at the same time. A lot of people play bumper jumper, so they don't need to. for that. But like if you're playing Halo 2 Classic, then you can BXR and stuff without taking your hand off the controller, the aim stick to do those buttons. But
yeah, it's a way of holding the controller that came out predominantly during Halo 2 Classic, and being able, like you said, being able to BR better, being able to BXR quicker, because there weren't really any control options like bumper jumper that with Halo 2.
Right.
So as Halo 3 came along with bumper jumper, the claw kind of went away, and now with all the scuff controllers, it's even less.
Yeah,
likely.
definitely. That's true.
I think I know Nated did still use it at the beginning of Season 1, but he did get a scuff since then, so I would highly doubt that he still does.
I still use it just because that's how I've done it for a while. It doesn't really add anything because I also play on bumper jumper, so
yeah,
I guess I can pick up weapons while looking around, so
yeah,
super useful.
I kind of have a tiny hand, so
yeah.
it does hurt my fingers after a while. So I back in Halo 2 when my hands were young and ripe, they could withstand it, but nowadays,
yeah, definitely.
I just go default.
Yeah, but so that is our tip of the week is the shotgun YY. Switching your weapons real fast so you can shoot faster. So keep it in mind, use it. I'm sure a lot of you already know it, but hey, it doesn't hurt to talk about it.
All right, moving into our question of the week, we're gonna kind of loop back to what we talked about earlier. Should there be contracts in HCS? Like I said earlier, we talked about the whole Ninja Spartan shooter thing versus the esports, and they signed the contracts. That can't be denied. So what they did seem shady to get out of it. Some of the interesting things to note is Ninja said that his contract with Noble had like a $5,000 clause to get out, and that was what it would have taken to buy him out of his contract, which kind of seems absurd. I also heard that number get thrown around with Shooter and Spartan's contracts, but then I also heard the $600 price tag get thrown around, so I'm not exactly sure what theirs were, but I know Ninja said his was $5,000 for sure.
Yeah, I think his was 5,000, and then people like getting all caught up in the moment and everything were like, oh, Spartan and Shooters is also 5,000, but Elevate came out and said it was 600.
Okay,
and,
so yeah,
I think they also cleared it up that it was 600, but.
So that's not as bad as Ninja's was, but I could see why Ninja's would have been so much higher than anyone else's just because he is Ninja.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that necessarily that is the reason why. The reason I think that it was 5,000, and it sounds outrageous because it's like, oh, they're not even making that much. You have to get like first place to get that much money at the event, or that's not. You'd have to get first like multiple times to get that much at events. But it's not necessarily like based on how much the player can earn. The buyout is based on how much the organization is put into the player. So if Ninja's on salary from them and they're paying him like a monthly wage or anything, or even if not that, but they're putting in money for his travel or gear or anything like that, then travel to one event, assuming no salary, travel to one event is probably $400 for him, plus another couple hundred for a hotel for the few nights, and food and everything. Is probably close to $750 to $1,000 for his travel for one event. And when you look at it, the buyout based on how much they've invested, then it's not such a like extraordinary number. And that's probably why Shooter and Spartans was lower, is because Elevate didn't invest as much in them. They didn't have a salary, or maybe they didn't do the travel, but they gave them like some gear or whatever it is. I think that you can't just look at it as how much they could win and how easy it would be for them to pay it off, but how much the organization's invested in them.
Yeah, and but one thing that, like you said, or I mentioned earlier, Ninja is kind of the face of Halo as far as an online presence go, and when he's not I can understand why you would put a little bit heftier price tag on him, because he's not a type of player that you want to just leave. He's he can bring a lot of attention to an organization just by his online following, and unfortunately we saw that come true, but in a negative way, in him bashing Noble. So
Yeah, and I think there's only maybe one player that might be more worth more, I guess technically, and that might be Roy, just because he's on the best team and he's now streaming and making content, or Flamesword because he makes so much YouTube content. Um, but though Ninja, Roy, and Flamesword are probably the three, like they're maybe the only players that could potentially be profitable for an organization, because I guarantee you every single organization in Halo right now is losing money by sponsoring Halo. But they're investing now in the hopes that they're gonna get a good return from Halo 5. And so that's another thing that, like, it's already money loss, and if they dump money into players and then they leave, it's even more money that they lost, and then they don't even have an investment for Halo 5. And so I don't know. Again, like I said earlier, I get it. I get it from both sides, but as a business person, I feel for the organizations and for Halo in general as an esport, because if it's gonna grow, it has to be from these organizations, really.
yeah. So then let's circle back. Do we think contracts should be in HCS, or is Halo just too small, or maybe is Halo not the right type of esport for it? Because with games like League of Legends, it seems like teams are a little more consistent, and if you've watched Halo from any of the MLG days, changes happen all the time. So is Halo just not fit for this type of thing, or is Halo, or do players just need to realize that this isn't Halo 2 anymore, this isn't Halo 3? You can't just this is more of a business nowadays. You have to take this shit a little bit more seriously, and contracts are going to be a part of it, and they need to learn to obey that. How do we feel?
I mean, it's really a choice on like how the community as a whole wants to progress. I mean, if they want to become huge, where the players are like, I just saw an article like earlier, like one of the League of Legends teams like tried to be sold for like 1 point something million. Like that seems absurd to me. Like I don't understand how that works. Like that amount of money, or that this team could be worth that to an organization. Um, I said maybe, I don't know. It sounds bizarre to me, so maybe I could be completely wrong with that. But if Halo's going to get to any point where it's comparable to those PC like esports, whether it's League of Legends, Dota, um, Counter Strike, Counter Strike's like not as big of a step away as like League of Legends or Dota, but if Halo's going to get there, it's going to take contracts. It's going to take like a lot more professionalism and like treating it as a business rather than just oh, we're going to tournaments to try and win. Yeah, winning's important, and that's the biggest part is the tournaments and stuff. But most of the players with yeah, I was just pausing. Sorry. Most of the players in League of Legends, I feel like their primary source of income doesn't come from their like tournaments. It comes from their streaming and their backing from the organizations and stuff like that. And I think that's what the players have to kind of like look for or look towards, and like how they're like behaving now is to try and get to that point where their income doesn't come from placing top 3 or winning the actual event itself. And when that happens, and when they're making money like without winning events, is when like that's when Halo has arrived, basically. So I guess I've kind of gone away from your original question, but like contracts right now should probably not be any longer than maybe one to two events, depending on the team. The teams like Noble and Elevate and stuff that we're having these problems with, they probably shouldn't have had longer contracts in the first place. Maybe 1 to 2 events, or like the contract ends at every roster period, so that way there's a little bit more opportunity there to move. With the bigger teams, the EG and CLG, Cloud9, Denial, I can see those being, wait until their contract is for an entire season, because those teams are going to be a little bit more stable. They're probably on salary, and they're not as dependent on their placing, like winning the event or like placing top 3 or something to get money. So basically, I guess it just depends on the level of the team right now. The lower teams probably shouldn't have contracts that extend past like roster periods. Big teams shouldn't have ones that go longer than a season, I guess is what I feel like. But I think they should definitely be there. Otherwise, the organizations have no incentive.
Yeah. I don't know. I completely agree. Like that contracts, they kind of, if Halo wants to be taken seriously, they need to be there. So the players just need to, I guess, be more mature, start acting like adults. You know, I don't mean to keep calling out Ninja, but
yeah, no,
that there's no way you can say what he did was the right way about going about anything. It was the most childish, bratty thing I've ever seen, you know, someone do. And it was basically the equivalent of a 3-year-old throwing a hissy fit until they got their way. And that's really what it was. And it's a shame. And, you know, I've lost a little bit of respect for him after seeing how that played out. And to touch back something you mentioned a few minutes ago, I know as far as League of Legends go, Riot themselves, the makers of the League of Legends game, pay each team, I want to say it's either 100 or 120,000. They pay each team, and the teams are allowed to divvy that up, however, you know, they so choose. On top of then the teams, you know, have their sponsorships and their streaming and the earnings. So even, you know, 5 players at 120,000, maybe you're making 25-30,000 a year.
That's just from Riot, though.
Yeah, that's just from Riot. Then so on top of that, most of them have a free house to stay at. They usually have a gamer house. They probably get some money from the esport org. They're streaming, and then obviously their winnings on top of that. So
yeah, streaming alone though, like when you're pulling 40,000 like viewers like at a time, just like everyday streaming and stuff. Like I think I tried to get in, and you have like, you know, 10,000 subs or whatever it is. Like it's just crazy. Like they're making over 100,000 just from like their Twitch streaming alone.
Oh yeah. So you know.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, the organizations have to be here for esports to like make it big, and the players have to start treating everything like it's a professional sport league. Like a player can't just like terminate their contract because they feel like it. You know, they have to do it in the proper way. I think that I mentioned earlier, like the organizations probably could have handled things better as well. Like, you know, having a more realistic contract like timeline length or anything, and then also like, you know, maybe allowing them to represent them individually and stuff like that might have worked better, which I believe is actually what Elevate did with Spartan for a while. They let him stream as, you know, Elevate online and everything like that, and he represented him there, and then they allowed him to play with Excellence. That I don't know exactly how he got to play with Excellence at Atlanta, because that is an organization. I think I read a rumor or something that Excellence let Elevate use their coach or something at the season 2 finals, and that's why they let him, or something like that. I don't know. It was kind of like a give and take between those two organizations, I guess, is what I thought I heard, but I don't know. But that type of situation is probably what I would have liked to see in general, is the organization giving a little bit of leeway to the players, but ultimately the players respecting their contracts.
Yeah, I think that letting him play for Excellence was, you know, that was fine. But I think where the big thing came from is it seemed like that this, you know, with Shooter and Spartan being on Elevate and knowing that they have Ninja and Aries as a team of 4, and what could be a fairly decent team of 4, Elevate wanted them. You know, you can't mock Elevate. They wanted that team just to become Team Elevate. They wanted Ninja and Aries to come over. So I think that's why, you know, maybe it's okay that he goes and plays with Excellence. But then when this situation arises, it's just like, all right, guys, you know, in our best interest, we want you to come to Elevate. So we're just going to, you know, we're not going to let you just leave or go play for another team now, because it's in our best interest to try to bring, you know, the most prominent figure in Halo over to our team in being Ninja.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you make a very great point there. Like, Elevate's, they're probably a little bit more like flexible with like Spartan going and playing with Excellence and everything like that, while they still have a team. But the entire Elevate team disbanded, so they're like, well, hey, how about 2 of you are on their contract with us? Why don't you play for us? You know. So I don't know. It's just sad that things went down the way that it did. Everyone could have handled it better. But I don't know what else there is to say on the topic. I think we pretty much covered it. So
Yeah, alright, let's move into our closing then, because like I said, we've gone a little bit longer than I was even expecting, and we still have a whole interview to play for you guys. So, moving into closing, if you would have any feedback, any questions, any comments, anything along those lines, please shoot us an email to 4shotpodcast@gmail.com. That's 4 is in the number 4shotpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys, hear some feedback. If you have any questions that you would like us to discuss in upcoming weeks, like I said, any feedback, anything along those lines, it would be much appreciated. Phade, take away for your plugs.
yeah. Well, first off, I wanted to give a shout out to Buckness for helping set up this interview with Pistola. He's the team manager at Cloud9 and super friendly and worked well with to get a schedule that worked out for us. So that was great. And then again, a thank you to Pistola for coming and doing that with us yesterday. Great interview, great person, as you'll see. So that was a lot of fun. You can see my my Twitter is @FadeFade. I think it's actually on the overlay.
It is.
Yeah, so that's there. I don't stream or anything like that, but just want to say thank you guys for coming out. Give us some feedback. There's a thread on Team Beyond. I generally make a post on Reddit as well, so you can comment there. So wherever it is that you see this, whether it's iTunes, leave us reviews. We want to hear what you guys have to say. Give us Twitter messages, and we'll read them on our next podcast and everything like that. Or if you have questions for us, we'll read them on the podcast. Get involved. That's what we want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as far as I go, twitch.tv/Phade, Fail, the number 3N. Same thing, Phade also on Twitter. Follow me there. Please come back. If you're not seeing this live, we stream around 8:30 Eastern time on Tuesdays. Feel free to stop by live chat. We usually have some people in chat talking about various things, and we might pull some questions or comments from the chat depending on what they might be talking about. Let's see here. I want to thank Pistola for doing the interview that you guys are about to hear. Please follow him on Twitter or Twitch. Both of them are iGotUrPistola. That's iGotUrPistola. So please follow him both on Twitter and Twitch. He was incredibly nice and genuine and an awesome person to talk to. And I wish we had, 2 more hours to talk. Because
I know, right?
There's so many things that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, we had to cut that one short. But.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe we'll have him back in the future after one of the events, and we can talk a little bit more with him. One more quick thing I mentioned last week. So if you didn't watch last week's episode, one of my good friends, the Blevins, who's actually in the chat right now, has a podcast on Hearthstone called Unleash the Podcast. So if you like Hearthstone and they talk about the current cards and tournaments and things along those lines, please go and give them a listen and a follow. I will link them in the YouTube and in the iTunes and all that, so you guys have links to them. But please give it a follow, give it a listen. They do an awesome job. It'd be much appreciated. Helping out another cast that does something similar to us, I guess, except their Hearthstone. So with that,
I had one other thing I forgot to mention earlier. We didn't really go over like community videos or anything this week, but I did want to let everyone know about the challenge that Roy is having with Dave. They're going to be playing FIFA match for charity. The winner is going to donate $1,000 to the charity of the winners. The loser is going to donate $1,000 to the charity of the winner's choice. If Dave wins, then Roy's going to donate to the Ronald McDonald Foundation, and if Roy wins, Dave is going to donate to Snipedown's charity stream, which is, if you guys haven't heard, Snipedown's dad got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And so he's going to be having a charity stream, and any money that he raises there is going to go towards pancreatic research, a pancreatic research charity. And so if Roy wins, the money's going to go towards his stream and therefore that charity. So I encourage you guys to watch that match. I believe it's going to be streamed on Roy's Twitch, and then I believe it's May 15th. I think May 15th. Time to be determined, but yeah, watch that. And you know, chip in as well. I believe they're going to be taking donations that will go towards the charity as well. So it's a good cause, and you know, pretty cool that they're doing that. So
Yeah, I
just
remember
wanted to
reading about
plug
that on
that
the
one
forums.
before we left.
Yeah, for sure. I remember reading about that on the forums, and I saw $1,000, and you know that anything like any amount of money along those lines definitely catches your eye, and especially over a game of FIFA, which you know should be fun and interesting to watch.
Shout out to the real P Mullen. He's in our chat, but he'll be on here again. He's supposed to be one of our co-hosts, but school and finals have overtaken his life for the time being.
All right, with that, we are going to wrap up. Please stick around. We are about to play the Pistola interview. Thanks for listening, guys, and you know, come back next week. Welcome to Force. Oh, hold on, guys. Need to fix one thing real quick. Shot Podcast special interview segment where we have special guest Pistola and co-host Phade. Pistola, thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. It's awesome to be here.
Phade, feel free to take it away.
Yeah, okay. We just wanted to first start with some background questions, like how you got into Halo and your first event.
Okay. Well, how I got into Halo actually was a long time ago. It was back in, like, I think it was late 2005, early 2006. My friend got an Xbox. He was my neighbor. He lived across the street. And he got an Xbox, and I went over to his house, and he's like, hey, man, I'm playing Halo 2. I'm like, what's Halo 2? So then he proceeded to play. We played 1v1 coagulation, and he got in the tank and beat me 25-0. And I'm like, from this day forward, I'm going to get my own Xbox, and I'm going to beat you. And that's the beginning of Halo for me.
I feel like that's a lot of people. Like a friend beats you, and then you're determined to be better than them.
How dare you? I'm coming for you, man. That's exactly how it happened for me. And then my first event ever was 2007 Charlotte, actually, because the only reason I got to go, it was I live in South Carolina, West Columbia. So it's like an hour and a half away. I just told my parents about it. And, you know, they were like, huh, what is this? I've never heard of MLG or whatever this is. And I went and got third place in free-for-all. You know, I got like $800, and they're like, whoa. This has money involved. My dad didn't think I was going to get any money at all. And he was like, all right,
did you?
Going to the next one. Oh, I knew I was going to get some money if I placed well.
Did you think you were going to place is what I mean?
I thought I was going to place well in free-for-all because at that time period I was playing really well online and everyone called me an online warrior, and I'm like, well, we'll see. But I was only 14, so I was nervous and didn't know what I was getting involved with. And I was socially awkward, so I was like, hey, guys.
I remember some of the early pictures.
Oh, yeah, dude, it was hilarious.
I remember you coming on the scene, and people are just like, whoa, how old is this kid? Is he even old enough to own Halo?
Technically, no.
And I would just like to point out, when I was coming up, or we were typing up the question document, I wrote down 3rd FFA and MLG Rally 07, because I couldn't remember when it was, but I was almost right on the nose of when you were on the
right there, dude. It's only like 2 hours away.
I knew it was right around that time.
Yeah, I was on another team, which is this team name. It was called Sinju Packing, which is the worst team name we could have picked, because we got knocked out 3rd round losers.
Okay.
So we got sent home packing. But yeah, after that I was like, man, I wonder if I can do well in free for all. And so many people knew of me at that time. Like I had Strong Side and the Ogres coming and watching me play free for all, which was nerve wracking. You know, just they're like, I could just hear Strong Side talking and like going, man, this guy's good. Like I'm just like, oh no. Don't make a mistake.
They knew you just from online?
Yeah, I played with Strong Side actually a lot online at that point, and that's why he's so awesome. Is you would just like when you're playing. That's what was so cool about free for all back in the day is that you could play with anybody, even if they were considered an online warrior. You could play with them online, and just even because they're playing well, and you're like, can I beat them? I'll get better from just playing with this person. And Side was just awesome about just getting anybody into his free for alls. God, I want free for all back.
Yeah, how do you think that would work with Halo 2 Anniversary?
I think it wouldn't be bad. I think Halo 2 Anniversary has it's definitely easier to shoot a little bit than Halo 2 Classic, but I still think it would be good. It's just we need a map for it. And but I mean, Warlord's not bad. It's just so chaotic with all the jump ups and the portals. Like if they remade Midship, oh my god, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But that most likely won't happen at this point in time.
All right, so let's get into kind of like now. How did, after you broke your hand and you took the time off, when did you start playing again, like before season 2?
I started playing about 5 weeks before Atlanta. So let me think.
Okay.
It was like a week after, maybe a week, 2 weeks after the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't think of like the date. I know like finals was like in the beginning. I think it was like March 6th. I think like in the middle of March is when I started playing, and it was interesting because my hand it was healed fully, but it wasn't like if I put pressure on it right here on the wrist, because my whole entire my bone shifted. When I punched, this knuckle actually got pushed down into my hand, my pinky knuckle.
Oof.
So, which obviously, therefore, my fifth metacarpal moved a little bit, which moved my wrist. So this bone sticks out a little bit more on this side, and it just made everything in here tender, even to the wrist. So when I would like put pressure on my wrist, it would hurt. But it didn't hurt when I played, but it was just kind of like, if I played for too long, my hand would get a little sore. It's fine now, thank God. But
did you end up having surgery or no?
I ended up not having to get surgery. There's a long story of that, and I could go into a huge
Well, I remember Towie's post that he posted for a while, and then ended up pulling that down and everything. But
yeah,
so it's good that you didn't actually have to have surgery.
Yeah, it's a long story, and I could make it really short. Just I went to the first opinion, and they told me it was going to be $17,000 to $23,000. So, and this was like the third day after I got back home, and I went and talked to Towie about it. He was like, "Man, you should do this because we should definitely try to get some donations for you to get surgery." And I was like, "I don't want to do that." And he's like, "Well, we're doing it." And I was like, "Okay, all right, man." And then he's like, "Well, get a second opinion." So I went and took my x-rays to go get a second opinion, and they said they had to make an appointment for me. And they didn't contact me for 21, 22 days because even though I called them every other day being like, "Hey, just so you know, like I'm running out of time. I need help."
Yeah.
And thing that stink during that whole time period, I got the flu, bronchitis, and I got an ear infection, so I couldn't even have got surgery during that time. Yeah, it was all terrible. And the flu lasted, a week and a half. The ear infection lasted 3 weeks. And I finally got contacted by them again, and they told me, "Hey, we refuse to see you, and it's going to be the same price." And I was like, "You refuse to see me? How can you refuse to see a patient?" And they didn't say anything. They just hung up on me, and I was like, I feel like I could sue them for patient neglect, but most likely wouldn't win. Yeah. So I was like, but at the same time, they probably didn't want to see me because I didn't have insurance, so they thought I couldn't pay for it. So I was like, that's understandable, but still, they neglected me for 21 days, and that's what sucked. I couldn't get any information. We needed a second opinion before we could proceed, but at that point I was already healing for about 4.5 weeks,
right? And
it takes 6 weeks for a bone to heal to 8 weeks, and I was like, well, at this point in time they'll have to re-break it. And then I went back in after 6 weeks, and they told me actually it's a good thing I didn't go for surgery because they would have to have re-broken it, which would have messed up the tendons and the ligaments, obviously the muscle, everything, and it would have made it worse. Yeah. And then the surgery, or it would take. I probably wouldn't even have played in the first tournament this season if I would have.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Well, hey, I guess it worked out and everything. No lingering pain, I'm assuming.
No, actually, when I went and got it checked out finally again, they told me that it healed way better than they expected, which was, that's always good to hear.
Absolutely.
And then they told me that I have to do physical therapy at the house, so I've had to do range of motion because my muscles atrophied. My fingers, my ring and pinky, because they were combined together, they atrophied, and took me about a month before I could actually get it to fully be able to do this.
Oh wow!
So it's still tightish, so I'm having to still just do anything to keep the muscle in movement. But yeah, so everything's good now.
That's good. That's good. So how did you end up with Cloud9? There was a lot of rumors, whether it was CLG or people thinking that you would go back to EG, so tell us how you ended up with this roster on Cloud9.
Well, I wouldn't have joined back with EG. There was just no chance that was happening. For number one, their success, and then number two, just Lethal. Even though people say he's a troll, he's a good guy at heart. He's just a sweetheart. He's probably gonna make fun of me for calling him that. But I wouldn't just get Lethal kicked off the team where he's playing extremely well, and I have respect.
I think that was the the whole milking on the forums, the crazy roster predictions and all that. Yeah. But just in general, people didn't know exactly where you were going to end up.
Yeah, that for me, I was like, I'm not gonna even ask. Like, I'm not gonna even. That's not something and I know they wouldn't even have done it anyways. So that was just one of those. It was understandable, and
Yeah.
obviously one of the craziest Halo situations of all time. I've never thought I would be the one to break my hand, and the way I did it. But I got a couple team offers, and it took a lot of consideration. But I've teamed with everybody on Cloud9 before, and even the coach, Symbolic. I've been friends with him for 8 years.
Oh wow.
So I was like, this definitely seems like a good fit for me, and I think they have a lot of potential, and I think we're better than even what we played at Atlanta. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how we can improve. It's always been one of my favorite things to join a team, and just even an underdog team, and see how we can progress. So
were you on Ambush at one point? I think
I was on Ambush.
Yeah.
With Heinz, Cloud, and Nexus, and at one point we had, instead of Cloud, we had Mudvayne, and that was 08. That was a long ride.
Yeah, for sure. So break down Atlanta for us, like for Cloud9, and how things went, the team's placing or performance, and your personal performance.
Well, at Atlanta it was interesting because that's like the second time I've been to an Atlanta tournament. The first time was an AGL, and it was a combined UMG AGL event. So there was Call of Duty and there was Halo there, so it was just a bunch of people, and that was fun. A lot of people didn't like Atlanta, like just the situation, including the hotel was far away from the venue, but I enjoyed Atlanta. I thought it was fun, and maybe it's because I haven't been to a tournament so long. But had a lot of fun. The venue wasn't too big, and I don't know. I liked the whole setup they had going there. And Iron Gaming, I've always liked Iron Gaming. We had a lot of interesting rounds. Like I'd say our first intense round we played was against CLG. We were up 2-0 against them. In our game 3, we played Warlord Ball, and we are awful at Warlord Ball. So like going into it, we were like confident, like we can do this. But then like a couple minutes into the game, we're like, we can't do this. So we got owned, and then we were playing Sank Bomb game 4, so we're up 2-1, and we were up 2-0 Sank Bomb, and everyone thought, okay, they have this. They came back and beat us 3-2, and then went to game 5, Warlord Slayer, and we suck at that too. And we were like, okay, confidence, we got this. And then we were down by 10 at one point, and then we somehow brought it back, and then we just lost it. And they ended up beating us by like 50, like 42 or something, beat us pretty good. And we lost that game, and we lost game 5, and it was just devastating. We were like, okay, we know we're better than this, and we know how good CLG is. They're a contender for first. So we're like, okay, if we just pull ourselves together, we can potentially come back and win this whole thing. So we go into the next day, and we play Optic, and we play them in game 1, and we had like a 20-minute like bomb game, I think, on Sanctuary, and they ended up like getting a bomb arm on us, and it was 1-0 in the end, and we were like, oh my god, like, all right, well, here we go, we step it up right now, right here. And then we play the next 3 games, and we end up beating them 3 games in a row, which was not that it was a surprise, but it was just it's always a breath of fresh air when you lose the first game and you're like, okay, we won the next 3. Like kind of how it did against us. But after that we played who did we play next? Did we play Winter Fox next, or did we play
Winter Fox? I believe.
Yeah, we played Winter Fox next, and that series is obviously very controversial with the whole situation that happened. We were up 2-0 in the series, then we had that King lockdown game, and we were supposed to get 5 seconds, and they were up by 7 seconds, or it could have been 6 or 7 seconds, just because of the way the game works. Like if you get in the hill with a half of a second left, it doesn't count that second. So like you'll be in there for half a second, and then you'll get in, and it'll only count the next second. So it's like the hill game is very it makes sense, but it's very it's not perfect. And I understand why they made the call, because my personal opinion, I don't think we would have even tied that game. But we didn't. There's a lot of speculation that we asked the refs, and we asked Bravo and 343 and them like for a replay, when in reality we just wanted to see what happened, because after the game we were like, wait, why wasn't it closer? we couldn't
Right.
even win at all.
Just
And
find out what happened and
and
how
Snipe
everything
Down
works.
came up to us, Howie came up to us, and somebody else, and they said, "Hey, you didn't get any time." Diesel came up to us. He's like, "Yeah, you guys didn't get any time in that hill." And we're like, "What?" So we went back to just go watch it, see what happened. So then obviously all the refs came over to be like, "What's going on?" And then they brought Bravo, and then they all just started speculating and watching it. And we didn't even say, "Hey, we demand a replay" or anything. We were just like, "Yeah, this is what happened, and we don't really know." Like, I'd straight up told him, like, "I don't know if we would have won that. I have no idea. Like, I don't think so. I have
So
no
what
idea."
exactly was it? Just like you step out of the hill for half a second and then go back in, and so you're basically getting half of every second, and so none of them counted?
I think it was like Hysteria got in, and then right after I got in, and there was like a glitch in Halo 4 where if one person got in the hill and then another person got in right after, it would give you a second for each person.
Mm-hmm.
So that was obviously they had to take Hill out because of that. And then
Yeah.
this is on the Halo 4 engine, so it's kind of like that glitch still comes into play, but it doesn't give you any time at all. So if he got in the hill, then I got in the hill, and I didn't know this. So now no one's gonna get in the hill, two people. But like I got in the hill with him just in case one of us died, and it just didn't register our time. And as I said, it was about 5 seconds. I know Ryan, you said in the podcast, it was about 5 seconds, and it could have been 6 seconds, which would have been a tie, I think. But honestly, it's one of those situations that's so gray, and it was just like, I don't want to say one way or the other because I could be wrong, and I don't want to start anything with anybody.
No, and it ultimately didn't end up changing anything in the series.
I feel bad about it, obviously, because no one ever wants to be in that situation, and you want to show good sportsmanship to the other team, and we didn't. There's speculation, as I said, that we said and tried to influence the replay when we didn't say anything at all. It was up to the refs, and it was up to them, all the people that were involved in the end, and we didn't say anything about it at all. And it is what it is at this point. And we had 2 replays, and whenever we got the second replay, I understood it. I wasn't upset about it because we got the first replay whenever we maybe shouldn't have. So it's. Right. But, that's in the past now, and hopefully that's something everyone could just overlook.
So how about Denial?
Denial. Well, Denial, we were actually really confident going into the series. And, game 1, Warlord Slayer, or Warlord CTF, when I said Slayer. Warlord CTF, we ended up beating them pretty good. And it was like, I don't know if it was 5-2, something. And we were in control the whole entire game. We were like, okay, confidence. But then we have Warlord Slayer game 2, and we're not very good at that. And we were like, okay, we got owned. We got staked, like 50-23 or something terrible. Like we're like, okay, that's bad. And then we were playing Lockdown Ball, and we're thinking, okay, well, we're good at this. We can do this. And they beat us by 100 seconds. And I was like, okay, well, this is not working out the way we want it to. We got to step it up here. And then we were playing Shrine CTF, and they just, even when we got control, they would have one guy push out and sneak out, and we would be aware of it, but he would hide so well we couldn't locate him. So when we would start running it, we would kill a couple of them, but the guy behind us would always stop the flag. So the final score ended up being 2-1 them. And there was one time when we could have got a touch on the flag courtyard. I had rockets, and I was about to grab it, and it disappeared right in front of me. Like, just barely missed it. Not saying
so much.
It does. It's so devastating. But not saying that could have been a cap, because I was like one of the only people over there, and it was a lot of heartbreaking and sad moments that you're like, okay, I thought we had this, but we won the first game, and they stepped it up. That's one of the most interesting things about Halo is when you play a 5-game series, anything can happen, and you win the first game. Even Snipe Down came to me. He's like, I thought you guys had that series after the first game. Even though in an interview right before that, he's like, I think Denial's going to win the series. And then we won the first game. He's like, well, you guys changed my mind immediately. I thought you guys had it. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, they stepped it up. I mean, they played really well. I mean, they even took a series against EG, which no one knew that was even possible at this point.
Yeah. You've mentioned a couple times that Warlord Team Slayer, you guys are bad at it. What exactly makes you bad at that?
I don't know. I think it's the chaos. We can't get comfortable in the chaos at this point in time. They were telling me they weren't that great at it with Ninja either, and I was like, okay, well, we just got to figure out a strategy that works for us. And I think we just don't do things together as well. And I think communication might be a little bit of an issue. Like when you're spawning flag, and your teammates are spawning flag because they just died, you got to be able to know to push out, but you also got to have a guy stay the flag. So if no one says anything, everyone might push out or everyone might stay on the flag, which won't work.
Yeah.
So you have to have like one guy stay or two guys stay on the flag, mostly only one. Everyone push out. I think we don't control portals well enough at all. It's really that game type is controlling bottom mid in the portals and some of the bases. Because when you're bottom mid, you can just jump top mid immediately and then jump back down and then go back up, and then you're in a perfect position to go get camo. And if you're controlling the portals, obviously you have no idea where this person might potentially be. I know there's multiple times where we'll get in a battle and we'll be like, I'm getting shot in the back. We're like, yep, it's portals, man. We we gotta control those. But yeah, we just honestly, if I could say anything about that game type, is we all around are not good at it. We just have to improve on every aspect.
Gotcha. So let's see. Talking about the UGC LAN, how important do you think that was for you guys? Because I know like going into that, like your online hadn't been good at all.
See, I think a lot of people think that LAN was like, it was very good for our whole team, obviously, but I think that LAN was better for me than it was for anybody at that LAN. And we didn't play as much as people would have thought. Like we played,
I think it was only like 3 or 4 series.
I'm saying, yeah, it wasn't anything crazy, including they were only 5 games. It's not we played like 11-game series. So it's like we didn't play as much as people think we did. And we EG didn't get to play much at all, which sucks. But I think that LAN helped me out the most out of anybody, because at that point in time, I'm not gonna lie, I just got back into the game. I'm months behind. Everyone knows these little details I don't, and I'm getting outplayed online, and we get 11-0'd twice by Winter Fox, and then we get 11-0'd by Noble, which Ninja was on that team, and it was just like, no, it was like it was terrible. And
drama on the forums.
Yeah, it made me feel like I'm like, man, maybe. Because some people
like, are you ready? Okay, should I be coming back yet? Type of deal.
Yeah.
But
some people are like, is he washed up, or just anything? And you don't really shouldn't listen to what a lot of people say when it comes to negative. Just reject the negative. But I was just sitting there kind of thinking to myself, maybe I'm not the player I used to be. And then the LAN, I was like, okay, wait, I'm getting it back a little bit. This LAN's helping out a lot. And then go into the tournament, and every single game, in my personal opinion, I was getting better. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Like, I've never felt like I've improved this quickly in my life playing Halo.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was one of the best players there, which surprises me from only being back for 5 weeks. And, I need to put more time into the game. I've been playing every day for the past 7 days.
It's hard right now. Can't really do scrims or anything. So
it's hard to even want to stream either, because like I've been going black screen a lot. And I don't think it's from my internet personally, because like my internet's fine. Like, I'll have a stream up and it doesn't lag or spike or anything. And including I'll have a friend playing next to me, and like one of us will go black screen and lag out, and the other one will be in the game. So it's like I don't understand what's happening. But yeah, like I'm definitely going to be well practiced for next event, because I feel like I've always been the player that blames himself for any losses just to improve individually. Like, that's probably why I got so frustrated at when I was on EG and we lost, and why I fractured my hand. I talked to Towie about it all the time, and I was just I was really upset at myself because I didn't play anywhere capable of what I thought I could. In my opinion, I played bad. Some people might think, you played pretty good. It's like, well, in my opinion, I played bad. And like, even this event, I thought I played good, but I don't feel like I played great. So
always room for improvement.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I have a lot of time to practice before this event, but these players, man, as soon as Halo's fixed again, people are going to be back on their grind. I got to join them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think APG's been like 2 40-hour streams or something like that.
Yeah, dude, he had like almost a 48-hour at one point. I was just
I think he's back to like 20-something right now.
Is he? Is he going for it?
I think so.
Oh, he's going to become one of the best streamers then if he keeps this up.
Definitely. Well, he's been at like over 200 viewers for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, man. Dude, I love Bradley. Yeah, he's awesome. I love Bradley.
Yeah.
Whenever he wants to be the best, he has drive like no other.
Dude, he was on Dynasty when I coached, and the amount of times, like whenever we were good at midship, and he would just sit in P2 and just bounce and somehow live through everything and kill everybody. And it was bizarre,
Just,
but awesome.
It's just so fun to watch. He's just so fun. He's like slightly chaotic in a good way because he's always fast paced.
Yeah, it's like controlled chaos.
Yeah, it's like very enjoyable to watch. Just him go around and doing his thing, and you can learn a lot from him because I think he's he just. I don't think he knows exactly what he wants to do, but I think there's times whenever he just pulls stuff out of his butt, and that's a good thing because that's just being able to, from experience and knowing Halo, you just kind of in your head you visualize, okay, can this work? And then you try it, and you're like, damn. And if you can do that in a tournament and do it consistently like APG can, that's just impressive.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had 2 cups canceled for so far. But there's a bunch of cups this like without any lands really, and before Atlanta, you guys did struggle online. How are you guys changing anything for online? I mean, normally you don't want to do that, but when there's so many points available for online, does that get in your head at all?
A little bit because we were like, hey, we sucked online real bad, and I think my personal opinion, it's not because we suck online as much as we just sucked as a team. Like I feel like we were just, I was so many months behind, and
so brand new and fresh and everything.
Yeah. I was so fresh and new, and this game it's not like it's very hard to shoot and play. It's definitely one of the easier Halos. So it's more of a team-oriented game. That's what we were talking about when I was on EG. It's like, okay, if we're on the same page as a team, that's like what's most important. Who's doing more damage, putting pressure in power positions, getting the power-ups, doing the fundamentals of Halo, and like we were never on the same page, and we just did not play. And including they said they didn't even play well with Ninja Online, and it's just like we got to get better. I was like, if we can't get better online, then that's a definitely concern because it's just like that's the only way we can practice, and this is one of the best online Halos to play. So it's like we gotta practice how we play. We gotta get into it. We had some motivation problems where we wouldn't like call out the way we should. We wouldn't be like one shot top mid. Like just get have that intensity.
Probably more casual playing.
Yeah, and like so then when we start getting dominated, it's just like a whole spiral effect. And we just go pew, and it's just. I think at this point now that we know that we're better. Not that we're the best, that we're better than we thought we were. Right. I think we're gonna play better online, in my personal opinion. Okay. But we haven't got to scrimmage yet.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly.
Yeah, no teams are really playing yet either, so it's kind of like, I mean, it sucks because I was looking forward to playing in these cups just because it's actually that's like a competition stream and it's everyone tries. Yeah. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
At Atlanta, there was a lot of the objective games that you guys lost. You actually outslayed in. What is it that? I mean, if you're killing people, but you're not getting the objective done efficiently, what do you guys have to do to make that happen?
That's a positional issue. We'll be in good positions to slay, but then we won't be in a good position to do objective fast, very quickly. And that's the most important thing in anything that you're doing is timing. Like if we're not quick about doing objective, they're just going to get out. Like that's against denial. We weren't good at trapping them and doing objective quickly. So one of them would get out, and then we do objective, and then they would be spawning, and it'd be almost too late. And we got to be faster, basically. And the thing is, we had that problem online. We had multiple times where we'd outslay these players, and we wouldn't be able to do objective very well. I think we need to be more objective oriented in general because, I mean, when we played against CLG when we were up 2-0, we kind of stopped going for positions. We started worrying about the bomb more, which is hilarious. Like talking about being objective oriented. Right there, we were too objective oriented. We have to have a balance because if you don't have your hut control and bomb, they're just going to be able to push you over and over again, and then they could trap you and spawn you rocks, and then that is a potential bomb arm. And we just kept not going hut, and we forgot to keep saying, hey, we need to go hut. So it's just I'd say we have to be like faster on objective, and we have to focus on getting positions at the same time, being in positions to do objective quickly.
Gotcha. Very good. Let's see. Okay, so that's basically like a lot of the questions we had for anniversary, but we had a couple on what you think for like season 3, Halo 5, like what your expectations for all that are, and the game itself for Halo 5.
Okay. Well, we can start out with talking about the game. I think it sucks that I didn't get to play the beta because my hand was broken.
Oh,
So I played.
bad timing.
Yeah, yeah. I played one game and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I played it before because I went to 343 in the summertime and played Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo 5 early, and it was very interesting. I was like, this is a very interesting game, and knowing also that they have, they have the toggle setting, so you can take off
sprint.
Yeah, you can take off all that. You can take it.
Okay,
anything.
I knew that you could take off sprint. I didn't know you could take off like thruster and clamber and all that stuff.
Pretty sure you can take off literally all that stuff. So it's like the first season will be like any other Halo where they test it out and they go, let's see how this is. And if people don't like it, then they'll go in to the custom settings and take out some of the stuff and be like, I'll try this. And so I think Halo 5 has the potential to be a really good game. I think I know it's not going to be like MCC. MCC was just has too much going on and it's very ambitious and it's just one of those things that maybe shouldn't have been done just because it was so hard to do. Yeah. And Halo 5 is just one game and they've been putting all their time and attention to focus on it. And I think it's going to work just fine once it comes out. And I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good team game. If it's all dependent on the maps, but the maps so far seem they have the idea they want it to be competitive. So with that in mind, I think hopefully every move they make is around the competitive aspect. Besides, you have to have those casual game types for people so that everyone can enjoy playing. But I'm sure they'll have matchmaking playlists that are going to be fun for everybody. But I think they're going into this with the competitive mindset, and so I got a good feeling about it. I have good expectations. I don't want to get too pumped up, but I'm
kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, I don't want to get let down.
Yeah. Cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that the thruster or some of the, not necessarily sprint as much, I know most people don't like that generally. I think there's improvements there with you can't regen your shields and everything, but the thruster, the side-to-side stuff, do you think that adds anything to individual skill with strafing and stuff?
I think it does. I think a lot of players that have really good map movement are going to stay alive even more now. That thruster is just, I like it, but that's what I love about Halo, classic Halo, is that you get punished for overextending.
Being in bad positions, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't sprint away, and you can't just poke out of behind a corner and then just thruster back behind a wall and then be fine. So I think it's going to be interesting because a lot of players are going to stay alive a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to see. I think any Halo, the longer it's out, the more people get used to it, and they just kind of abuse.
They figure it out. And stuff.
Not only will people be able to abuse the thruster, but people will also be able to abuse people using the thruster. Yeah. So I think eventually it will kind of balance itself out if they don't take it out before that. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know. I think ground pound and all that stuff. It'd be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, there's ground pound. There's that shoulder charge, which there's a lot of cool ones that potentially can. I think it's better for a viewer experience than it is competitively. In my personal opinion, I think it'll be interesting to see, but I don't know. We'll have to try it out. I'm not against testing. That's what I think. Testing is the most important thing, and if it's not good, just take it out.
What about just now thinking about it, the weapons were timed for you in the beta.
That's interesting because it's just kind of the coaches, they're not as important then. Even though coaches do more than timing. Mm-hmm. If you're a really good coach and a confident coach, you can tell your players where you think they should be going. Like Towie, in my opinion.
Towie's very good with positioning and helping the team push and everything.
Yeah, Towie's the best coach in my opinion, and I've talked to him. Him and I talked all the time once after my fracture, and we always did before. And we just went over. I was just talking to him about stuff we can improve on together. And he just knows so much knowledge about Halo, and just
that's crazy.
And his teammates trust him. Some coaches will say, "Hey, I'm gonna you should do this," and players will just ignore them because they just don't trust the coach's information and knowledge. So it's I think it sucks that the coaches won't be utilized as much with the timing of weapons, but that means that coaches can focus on positioning and trying to guide the players in the right direction, since they can watch all 4 screens and have a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Right. All right, so talk to me about Cloud9, like how that's impacted you, like being involved in Cloud9, EG, and just how the organizations in general have, impacted Halo compared to like when MLG owned all the teams.
Well, Cloud9, first of all, is an awesome sponsor, and they might be the best sponsor out there right now. They're just all around awesome, and I got lucky with that one.
Yeah,
and,
well, I saw like giving you guys had the backpacks when you showed up at the UGC and all that. I don't know if that came from Cloud9 or UGC, but
that came from UGC.
Okay,
but Cloud9 is they have really good gear. They sent me if you ever go to my Twitter, you can see like they sent me like a bunch of stuff, and they all around have really good sponsors, and they're just awesome. They really are.
That's good.
And EG was cool too when I was with them. I like them a lot. I think it's very interesting these sponsorships, especially these big organizations, are coming into Halo right now. They came in early because they think Halo 5 is going to be huge, because there's a lot of rumors out there that Halo 5 is going to have a lot of money put into it. So they want to be, and in my personal opinion, if there's more money, there'll be more viewers, just naturally, because people will be like,
definitely,
like Global Championship. Halo 4 wasn't the best game at all, by no means. But a bunch of people watched Global Championships just because of how much money was on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's more money put into, Halo 5, they will get more viewers, and that's exactly what these organizations want. They want their brand to be, they want it out there, which is interesting because these brands are not with Call of Duty right now.
Yeah, I think part of that's Call of Duty is so
involved with
MLG. With MLG, and MLG is its own organization and uses their own sponsors. True. So I think that's probably part of it. But
that's true. Yeah, I was wondering about that, and I didn't even think about that. You're right. That's interesting. That's why I was afraid when they got into it. I was like, hopefully these sponsors don't just bail after the first
season 1 or season 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
but it seems like they're here to stick around and everything.
Yeah, they're in for the long haul, and I don't think they'll regret it, at least at first, because I think Halo 5 will be huge at first, and it's all dependent on its consistency. Will it be able to stay? Will it be able to keep people's interests?
Mm-hmm. I think one thing that, you're seeing guys like Flamesword with Optic, and the amount of content and videos that he's putting out and everything, is awesome to see. And I think that's what the organizations are looking for, is their players to really get viewers, and that's how you get viewers and everything. So it's nice to see you're streaming now, and
I need to do it more.
Are many of the other guys on your team streaming much? I know Fearself has a little bit, but
Fear's done it. He played a lot, and Hysteria streams a lot. But he streams Counter-Strike right now.
Oh, okay.
And Victory has a job, and when he gets home, he'll want to stream a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the last month we've been a little busy, and we haven't been able to stream, and I just got mine set up less than a week ago, and so we're gonna be streaming a lot more. It just stinks the game's broken right now.
And
a lot of people don't have the motivation, but at the same time they still could be playing. But if you don't want to get burned out, since we have such a long break, you don't want to just see a lot of people are like, man, you should play, and it's like, yeah, I want to play, but I don't want to play too much. And when I stream, I don't want to just get on for an hour and then get off.
Yeah,
because I feel like a jerk. Yeah, I want to get a
4-hour session or something.
Yeah, I want a good at least 3 to 4 hours session. Yeah. Scrimmaging is so fun because you can't interact with your viewers as much, but they get to watch good Halo, unless it's our team, and then you just watch us get.
It's not just like pub stomps and matchmaking or anything. Yeah. I guess you guys
which is pretty much pub stomps.
Yeah, if they're playing you guys.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a lot of the serious questions that we had. We have a couple oddball ones for you. That's what
I like. Oddball questions. They're my favorite.
All right. What's your worst habit?
What's my worst habit? Procrastination.
Okay. All right. Guilty pleasure TV show.
Oh God, that's a hard one. Guilty pleasure TV show. Man, I don't know if I have a guilty pleasure TV show.
Guilty pleasure in general, then.
Oh God. I'm trying to think, dude.
No Kardashians for you?
No, I'm not a Kardashian guy. I wish I was. I used to be a fan, and back in the day, whenever he actually could sing, and then he just couldn't sing anymore.
And
I appreciate. Yeah, then he got weird. Yeah, I appreciate good singers. He wasn't even that good of a singer. He just had some decent songs, and but now not anymore. I don't listen to him at all. God, I have no idea, man. This is a hard one. I just can't think. I mean, you could say anime, I guess, but that's not really a guilty pleasure.
It's not,
but I mean,
not terrible. Okay, what's your favorite anime then?
What's my favorite anime? One Piece. What's my favorite manga? I wouldn't say it's my favorite anime because the anime is so drawn out and has a lot of filler.
Yeah.
But yeah, One Piece is the best story. I guess one of my guilty pleasure animes would be Berserk. I just finished Berserk. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
I don't know anime or manga very much at all actually.
All I can tell you is that it's messed up, man. It's got some messed up scenes and stuff, but it was good.
I'm a little terrified now. So.
Yes, it was weird. But
all right, so there's a machine. It gives you $100 a day for life. How much would you pay for that machine?
$100 for life?
$100 a day for life. How much would you pay?
So I can say any number. Dude,
well,
I'd pay.
It's a bidding war, basically.
Okay. How much money would I pay for that machine? I feel like if I say too low, it's going to be milky. I'd pay like $2,000 for that.
20 days? That's it?
Yeah. Maybe. You know what? I'll put 5,000 down on it.
Okay.
I'll put 5,000 down on it, just because I don't want to go too high. Because what if? Because I wanted to just drop a bomb and be like $1 million. I'll put $1 million on there, but I don't have $1 million.
That's a lot of time. It'd take quite a few years to pay that off.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It was 5,000. We'll do it.
All right. So what's the last lie you told?
What's the last lie I told? Dear Lord, dude, I don't ever lie, so this is going to be difficult. Oh my God. I have no idea, actually. Like, I don't remember my last
That's
lie.
good. If you're not lying, that's good.
Yeah, I swear I'm not lying. I have no idea. I'm a troll. I joke around, but I don't remember the last time I had to tell a lie. You know, I probably shouldn't say had to, because you don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea, man. I swear. That's crazy.
No troll teams that you posted like before?
No, I don't troll with that information.
Okay. All right. All right, if you had a brainwashing machine, who would you use it on and why?
Oh my God, if I had a brainwashing machine, I would use it. Oh man, this is a hard one. I'd use it on. Let me think. I'm trying to think of a really pretty actress. Or
that was my thought.
I'm trying to think of like
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson, Emilia Clarke, the Daenerys.
Is that Emilia Clarke as Daenerys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, hold on, man. I know there's some girls out there. Dang it, who's my number one, dude? I had my number one.
I should have put that down. Celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush. Oh my God, who's my number one? I can't remember her name. I mean, Kate Beckinsale. It's just I can't think. Who is it?
What's she in?
I can't even think of her, dude. I have no idea. There's so many. I have so many celebrity crushes.
Choke.
I used to like Selena Gomez a lot. Emma Stone is just really pretty. There's just so many, but I can't think of the one specific girl. Almost want to just Google it right now, see if I can find it. But we'll just say Emilia Clarke.
All right.
We'll do that.
Favorite word.
Favorite word.
You could pass if we're not gonna be PG.
Yeah,
or PG-13 at least.
Yeah, I'm up to be at least PG-13. God, my favorite word might be. Oh man, these questions, man, they're good, dude.
They're oddball for a reason.
Dude, these aren't even oddball, man. These are great questions, dude. I can't. I'm trying to think of obviously, the first couple words I thought of were bad. They're not my favorite. This is for some reason that's just the forbidden fruit coming out. Oh God. There has to be a word that I love, dude. What is the word that I love? No.
How about a phrase? Catchphrase. The Pistola catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
You know,
oh, dude.
Assault's got next big thing.
Next big thing. I thought it was gonna be this. No, that's just words. It just runs together.
Sounds or whatever, yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite quotes is the Gandalf quote that's like, I can't remember word for word, but just like, a wizard arrives precisely when he means to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. From the very first movie or whatever. Well, yeah, in the books, obviously. But
he's never late, never early.
What superpower would you have?
Ooh. Man, what superpower would I have? See, there's always good ones, man. You know, like X-ray vision, or
Like you want multiple. Like
I'm saying, yeah, like it's like you could. Those are good ones, but honestly, man, I wish I could just turn Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan, yeah, just
Is
go
that
crazy.
is that considered a superpower?
Yeah.
Okay, I would turn Super Saiyan and just.
Do you get Super Saiyan hair?
Oh, totes. Just,
Okay.
just go up so high the longer, especially since
Yeah.
I would be half blood Saiyan, my hair would grow. Because when
Yeah.
you're a full blooded Saiyan, your hair stays the same from birth. So I could
okay.
just rock out some crazy hairstyles.
There you go. There you go. Last thing. This isn't somewhere. This is just I just noticed. Is that a bunch of T2 back there behind you?
Yeah, that's a bunch of T2 water ball. Or I mean, Dr. Pepper bottles.
Dr. Pepper bottles. Nice.
Yep, I bought a bunch of them, and they're flat, dude. They're like they're.
Did you eat one? Did you drink one or something?
One of my friends did. We dared him, and it was the grossest, most hilarious face I've ever seen in my life.
It's like sludge, like just syrup
Dude,
now, probably. Uh-oh. Think we lost him.
Yeah, looks like it. Oh.
You back?
Yeah, I'm here. I could hear you guys the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my whole gaming wall, so I have like, I can scoot over a little bit. I have a bunch of these pro passes from like MLG and stuff.
I think everybody keeps those.
Dude, you got to. And then up here's my it's my check when I was on Halo 3 Final Boss. This is like the original check that we got for championships.
So did everyone get one, or how did you?
Yeah, you can give the original away to whoever you want, and then MLG will make you your own personal ones. But that's like the original check that we got. And then you guys will like this over here.
Oh, there you go. Oh, the Halo 5 poster.
Yep.
And the Pistola sign.
There's another one, and then a straw hat, which is like from One Piece.
I think you need to stream with that.
The straw hat on. A lot of people were saying I should do that. I think that'd be hilarious. I don't know. It's like one of those hats that you can't like put headphones over it, so I'd have to put the hat over my headphones, which I'm cool with. I don't care. I'll do it.
I think Roy was doing that a little bit the other day.
Dude, I love Roy, man. His stream's so entertaining.
Yeah,
he's just such a good guy.
For sure. All right, so the last thing we got is the quick scope round, and Phelan's gonna go ahead and do that for you. First impressions on these.
Okay.
Before we start that, I just want to point out, not only do I have a bunch of T2 Dr. Pepper bottles, I still have Halo 3 Game Fuel unopened, sitting on a shelf.
Dude, I wish I did. I have one up there, but I drank all of it.
One day I may have to go back and actually open it and see what happens.
Dude, I drank mine like within the first week. I can't imagine, dude.
You might need to use a spoon to drink it.
I'm just saying, these things are not carbonated at all anymore. I shook it up, and it's just like, oh man, I don't want to drink that. I've had a bad experience with some. It was a Gatorade. I don't even want to really tell you guys, but let's just say there was like bacteria growing in it that was like this big around, and it was like hairy. And I drank. It was a fierce grape. I drank half of it, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna chug the rest. And then I started chugging it, and this thing hit my tongue. I was like, what was that? And I poured it out in the sink, and I was just like, how? And the only
it's a whole lot of nope.
The only thing I could think of is that it was like someone broke the seal and I didn't notice. But you think you'd notice the seal being broken? Yeah. Open it. I don't know. But yeah, who knows? I have no idea. People are like, you should have sued Gatorade. You'd be rich. And I was like, I just don't like suing people. I didn't get sick from it. That's good news.
That's good. But,
moving into the quick scope round. Yeah, I'm gonna just A or B type questions, whatever one pops in your mind first. H2A remake of Midship or Beaver Creek?
Beaver.
Agree. Milk or orange juice?
Orange juice.
Boxers
Unless
or briefs?
It's chocolate milk. Briefs.
Cats or dogs?
Cats. Even though I love dogs.
What?
I have a cat. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I had a dog a long time ago. It was a husky, and I loved it. But we haven't had a dog since then. Dogs are definitely more loving, but since I have a cat, I feel obligated just to get a cat. I guess this is terrible. I hate dog and cats. Yeah, loyalty to my cat.
Call of Duty or Counter-Strike?
Counter-Strike.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network.
All right. That does it for those questions.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't too many, but we got one better right now.
Yeah, and now we're gonna head into what we're calling the overtime period. We're gonna do a little BuzzFeed quiz of what Disney princess are you? So I'm gonna ask you a question. Just answer it to the best of your ability, and we'll see how this plays out. So, what is your favorite Disney movie of the following choices? Hunchback of Notre Dame, Robin Hood, Aristocats, Lion King, Love Bug, Freaky Friday, The Sword and Stone, Lady and the Tramp, or The Black Cauldron?
Oh, I might have to go with the Lion King, man.
All right.
That's a good choice.
Secretly, you think your enemies are envious of my industriousness, looks, I don't have enemies, determination, dreams, wealth, bravery, demeanor, or passions?
Let's go with dreams.
Dreams.
I just love that word.
Is that favorite word?
That might be my favorite word.
All right.
What are you most scared of? Saying goodbye to my friends, losing your job, pop quizzes, global warming, scissors, Walmart, war, being alone, or standing still?
We'll go with pop quizzes.
All right.
Even though war's in there and everyone's gonna be like,
what do you look for in a soulmate? Loyalty, steadiness, passion, bravery, kindness, beauty, humor, a sense of adventure, or wealth?
Kindness. Dang it, there's so many good ones in there.
Right.
Choose a talking animal. Phoenix, bluebird, mouse, meerkat, warthog, animals can't talk, cockatoo, shark, or possum?
Dude, Phoenix, no doubt about it.
Alright. What do you like to do with your time off? Camping, get out of town, get together with my family, lie around, always working, play video games, burn the candle at both ends, LARP, go to the beach?
How come there can't be one that says get together with your family and friends and play video games?
Yeah.
Let's put play video games in there.
Alright. What is the secret to true love? Humor, understanding, I'll know when I find it, faith, compassion, acceptance, communication, chemistry, equality?
Acceptance.
Where do you like to have your first date? Movie theater, a bar, a club, a park, the zoo, coffee shop, restaurant, I don't have time to date, or museum?
Let's go movie theater right there.
Alright.
Classic.
I was gonna say I don't have time to date. That'd be kind of but I have time. I definitely do.
Pick an artist. Lord, Imagine Dragons, Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, Miles Davis, Randy Newman, Drake, Bruno Mars, or Avicii?
Oh my god. These are awful.
What? Avicii's awesome.
I was gonna say Avicii. I'm gonna have to go with Avicii. Thought there was gonna be some 70s in there or something. Give me some Michael Jackson. You know.
Yeah, not too much on this apparently.
And last question: what is happily ever after? Having good friends, finding my equal, achieving my dreams, in a job I love, in a caring relationship, in a castle, in finding inner peace. I'm not sure, but it isn't what is happening now. The adventure continues.
Finding inner peace.
Finding inner peace. All right.
Yes.
Your Disney princess is Jasmine. Same one I got earlier.
Wait, we're both Jasmine?
We're both Jasmine.
Dude, I'll just give you a high five real quick. You're a Jasmine, guys.
You don't have to sing A Whole New World.
A whole new world. A whole new place I never knew.
That was awesome, actually. Far better than I could do.
Wait until I go hard. There's voice tracks. Whole new world.
We'll leave that for your stream.
I love that song though, man. It's just so.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is, man. I can listen to it every other day. I would say every day, but I think I get annoyed by it a little bit. Not annoyed. I'd just be like, I'm gonna listen to something else.
Maybe
but every other day.
Skip it. Every other day.
Every other day for sure. So, shout out to Cloud9 and all the sponsors that are with Cloud9. Good huge shout out to G2A and obviously Logitech and any other sponsors affiliated with Cloud9. And thank you to Buckness for setting up this interview. You're the man, Buck. And I think that's it. Oh yeah, shout out to you guys as well. Thank you for having me on here. It's awesome.
Thank you.
And anytime you guys want me back, just let me know and I'll be here and not late next time. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Alright guys, that does it for the interview. I want to thank Pistola again for doing the interview. It was awesome. You were a delight to have. Hope to have you on again sometime in the future. We have a ton more questions we'd like to talk to you about. Please stop by next week at 8:30 Eastern Time on Tuesday. That's when we go live with our cast. If you can't catch us live, catch us on YouTube or catch us on iTunes, all that stuff. We'll have put up a post on the Team Beyond forums and on Reddit r/Halo, so you can check out stuff on there. Feel free to shoot us an email at 4shotpodcast@gmail.com. That's 4 is in the number 4, shotpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or anything along those lines that you would like to talk to us about, we'd love to hear from you guys, whether it's feedback or, you know, future discussions you'd like to hear us talk about. And stay tuned. We are in the works of getting some more people to interview in the next few weeks. So stay tuned to that. Check back and see who that may be when the time comes. That will do it for tonight's cast. Thank you everyone for following, and have a good night.